Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Sports TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon, makers of the Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the perfect model for premium sound with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They are the ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit RayconGlobal.com. That's RayconGlobal.com and elevate your listening experience. Welcome to BVO Sports TV. In association with Brent Wade Holdings, the content you're about to see includes opinions, stories, and discussions created for entertainment purposes only. The views expressed do not reflect the official policy or position of BVO Sports TV or Brent Wade Holdings, LLC. Viewers and listeners are encouraged to think critically and form their own opinions. Attention fight fans in the DMV. It's live, it's local, it's boxing. Jetta Promotions, RDR Promotions, in association with Maryland Live Hotel and Casino in Hanover, Maryland, presents a night of championship boxing, Saturday, November the 22nd, featuring some of your favorite DMV boxers. In her professional debut, we've got Bria Miller, Casey Wheels Wheeler, Keith Saunders, Nasheed Sugarsheed Smith, Tyler John Wayne Langer, Jakeem Too Sharp Hutcherson, Mikai No Limit Phillips, Derek Scooter Davis, Ahmed Momo Jones, Brandon the Hitter Chambers, Ezra No Time Turner, and in our main event, we've got Michael the Professor Fox. Tickets are available through AXS or at the Live Hotel and Casino box office. November the 22nd, doors open at 5 p.m.
My God, I'm in the house with my guy, G Pre, man. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm cool and what's good?
What's good, man? I want to talk about just have kind of like open panel, talk some boxing in the comments. And I knew Puerto Rican Free might just be. But we was gonna talk about why Tank decided to leave Floyd. I think it was one of the craziest decisions ever. I don't know why Tank didn't stay loyal, but what would you say? Why do you think Tank didn't stay loyal to Floyd?
Um, I don't think it's about staying loyal to Floyd. I think it's about Tank Davis wanting to be his own man. We gotta remember, everybody grows up. Tank Davis been under Floyd Mayweather since he was early in the game. I mean, he came in under AB, and then AB handed him over to Floyd, and he's been
Mm-hmm.
under Floyd ever since. So um, he he a young man that became a man and wanted to be his own man and not live in the shadows of Floyd Mayweather, because that was the one thing that a lot of people always said about Floyd. He never let Tank Davis have his own shine. Every time they would ask Tank a question, Floyd would be the one that answered. It was cool at the beginning of Tank Davis' career, but towards the ending part of Tank Davis before he left Floyd, it got
Hmm.
I think it got a kind of annoying to Tank. It seemed like Tank wanted to answer, but Floyd or Leonard Ellerby will always step in and talk for him instead of him letting him talk for himself.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Free. I'll just say this now. You know this, being a Puerto Rican man, you know how people stick together. Do you think that's why a lot of times we don't see fighters reach their full potential because they always want to be the man instead of working with somebody? What would you say?
Um, it all depends on the individual. Um, because sometimes you stand with somebody can be a Henderson, and sometimes it can be helpful. It all depends on the people that you are staying with, or you choose not to stay with. So it depends on the situation because we seen situation where it worked out for the individual. Like when Floyd left Bob Earl, it worked out for Floyd. A lot of people say, "Oh, Floyd was becoming a star under Bob Earl," but Floyd wanted to blossom, and Bob Earl wouldn't let him blossom. And the way that Floyd wanted to blossom was by getting a fight with Oscar De La Hoya to show that he is a star. And Bob didn't want to do that, so Floyd said, "You know what? Well, I gotta go out and be my own man and do my own thing." And when he did that, Floyd became the super mega star that he was in the sport of boxing. So it all depends on the situation.
Yeah, the reason I say that is you see guys work together for a very long time when things go really well, and I just feel like for Tank, if you think about his career, um, I would say he really he doesn't seem as big as a star as he was when he was with Floyd on the Conor McGregor card, or as he was when he was on the Andre Berto card. I just don't feel like he's the same guy. Not saying he's not popular. I don't want people to say that. I'm just saying I think it's something special to see Floyd and almost like a guy he kind of took in as his son. Because that's the I say this about Floyd. That's the first fighter. Hold on one second. I'm trying to fix something. That's the first fighter. You can tell me if I'm wrong, Free. That I ever seen Floyd like kind of like looking sad or like, dang, he just looked sick when he would see Tank in the ring. And it's like that's the only guy I never seen him do that with Badu Jack, Ashley. Never even seen him do with Ishe Smith. But it seemed like with Tank, he had almost like an extra emotional thing going on. Super Vacate Bay. I'm just wondering why like Tank would turn his back on somebody who really loved him. I just thought that was wild to me. But what do you think about it?
I mean, it could have been some stuff going on behind the scenes because we heard that they had some beef behind the scenes. Floyd had kicked him out of the gym and took all of the St. Davis posters down in the gym and everything like that. So it could have been something a little bit deeper. But we got to also remember, it was not only. I mean, you said it doesn't seem like Tank Davis
Say it again. You went out. You went out on me, Free. Say it again, brother.
the star that Tank Davis was there because ever since Tank Davis
Hold on.
left Floyd.
You cut out. You cut out. Say
Oh
what you
no,
said again, brother.
my
You cut
bad.
out.
No, I was saying you said it seemed like Tank Davis ain't as a bigger star since he left Floyd, but it
Hmm.
doesn't seem like Floyd is as big of a star since Tank Davis left because the one thing that we noticed is Floyd haven't been around the sport of boxing since him and Tank Davis split. We used to see Floyd everywhere. We don't really see
Hmm.
Floyd like that anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I guess for me, I don't understand like why they couldn't make it work. It's like a thing you would see like the make believe beef people be trying to say they have and all that. I just don't get it. Um, I don't get it, because I feel like together they was like I don't know, man, like Tubbs and them. They were just a great team together. And to see them break up and they just talk crazy about each other because, like you said, we don't see Floyd anywhere. I feel like Floyd is letting Kamel Moulton down, in my humble opinion. If you look
Yeah.
at Kamel Moulton, he's not getting nearly the shine that he got, that Tank Davis got. Never, not even close. So that's my whole
And that,
thing about it. I just don't understand why he's not getting that same look and that same love.
and that's the reason why I said it wasn't only Floyd that made Tank Davis a star. It was Tank Davis himself. Because if it was Floyd, all of these
Hmm.
other guys that he had would have been stars. He could have made Moulton a star. He could have made Rolly a superstar. He could have made Hatchet a star. It had to do with the fact that Tank Davis was going out there handling the business. Yeah, Floyd helped, but it wasn't solely Floyd that made Tank Davis a star. It was Tank Davis himself as well.
Yeah, I just think I get what you're saying. I don't want to take away. I ain't trying, like I said, I'm not trying to take away from it. I just thought together, man, they was a hell of a team. I just thought they was a hell of a team, man. So for me, that's just one thing I miss. But even when you think about like Tank's greatest fights, Mario Barrios fight, because I felt like that was the time we got to see what really was going on with your boy, and we could see, him actually trying in the fight. But let me ask you this: we got my brother Prize in here.
Yeah.
What you think, Prize? What you think about Floyd? Tank turning his back on Floyd.
Say that again.
I said, what you think about Tank kind of turning his back on Floyd? Was that good, bad, or different in your opinion?
I think he outgrew Floyd. If
How
anything,
you outgrow the biggest nigga in the world?
I mean, like as far as like business wise, like you outgrow. Sometimes in business, you outgrow like the people you started with, and he wanted to take control of his career. So, it seemed like he made some money, but
Yeah.
right now he's just in a twilight zone that he can't get out of. So he
Yeah, I mean,
lost out on the big payday. So we got
yeah, I kind
to.
of agree with what Price said because Tank Davis had made more money being on his own than he ever did with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Like Tank Davis wasn't
You
getting
think?
paid like that when he was under Floyd. He was getting paid, but he wasn't getting paid nowhere near the amount of money he's getting paid now. Not even close.
Yeah, I
I
agree
thought the
with that.
Conor McGregor fight was one of the biggest fights in boxing history. So that's what I mean.
Yeah, Conor
I
McGregor was
don't
one
know.
of the biggest fights, but Tank Davis didn't get paid off of that fight. That was
Right.
Floyd and Conor McGregor.
I'm talking about all I'm saying, Free, is just the fact that he was even on that card. That's a hell
Yeah,
of a
no,
look.
that's great for the exposure, but we're talking about revenue. Yeah, you can have the exposure, but if you ain't generating no revenue, what's good at the exposure?
hmm
You can
Right.
have the exposure all day long with no revenue. I mean, I know a lot of people that's on YouTube that's not monetized. Yes, they got a lot of views, but they ain't monetized. So it's no
Right.
Yeah.
point of having the exposure if you ain't making no money.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this about YouTube. I learned it's never the money that you thought it would be, not starting out. It definitely ain't. Because I'm working on getting a team behind the scenes on some stuff. Not I got a little help from some sponsors, but going into that, it's not just about tanking this. I'm just wondering, and I kind of want to go to a deeper conversation. Why do you think it's so hard for black men to work together? And I think that the tank Floyd situation is a great example. It's like you can never have a young black guy and an older black guy work together without some type of strife or tension. And I just think it sucks. I think it sucks for the sport as a whole when we got brothers that can't even come together and get millions and millions of dollars together. It's just, because I hear what you're saying, Free, but I'm gonna just be honest. I don't think nobody seriously would say they look at Tank the same way they did when. I'm not talking about us as fans, as hardcore fans. I'm talking about casual fans. Because what does Jake Paul always say about Tank, Floyd's son? They know Floyd from Dancing with the Stars. They know Floyd from reality TV shows. They know Floyd from WWE. So, I don't know. What would you say about, we got my man Right Side in the house. What's going on, Right Side? How you feel?
What up, man?
So, we kind of talking about just
What's
a
up,
bunch of
bro?
stuff, but main thing we starting out with is, man, we talking about my man Tank Davis and how he kind of turned his back on Floyd Mayweather. What would you say to that? Can you hear me?
So when you go up,
Well, I think Floyd turned his back on Tank. Oh, go ahead. Is it on me?
No,
Can
go
y'all
ahead.
hear me?
It's on you. Yeah, it's on you. Yep.
Test. Can y'all hear me?
yeah, you're a little
Yeah, we can
delayed,
hear you.
but we can hear you.
Somebody get.
We can hear you.
All right, I'll be right back. If I'm delayed, I'll be right back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're a little delayed. But to
But
go
yeah,
go to your question though,
but
BBO, I think a lot of times it has to do with a little bit of jealousy because uh, the, as a human being, you always want credit for what you do. So one person is in the ring, another person is giving a person the exposure. Both of these guys want credit, and if sometimes it that can get in the way of people working together because they feel like, okay, you overshadowing my credit or you overshadowing my credit. So it kind of that kind of gets in the way because you got two guys who got an ego and they want to get the
Egotistical
credit.
maniacs. Yep.
Yeah, they want the credit for what they're doing, rightfully so,
mhm.
because what they're doing is bringing a lot of eyes, is bringing a lot of money to their bank account, to their brand. So rightfully so, they want the credit, but a lot of times that ego gets in the way. That's why you have situations where people can't work together because one person thinking somebody's holding them back, another person thinking a person is taking their credit and things like that. So that's what happens a lot of times when you're dealing with people in business. That's why you see a lot of companies split up, like Microsoft and Apple. Those two owners were partners. The same thing like with Home Depot and Lowe's. Those people were
Microsoft and
partners.
Apple, they wasn't partners.
Yes, they was. They started
No,
off
they was
together.
not. No, they didn't. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates didn't start off together. They never did. Steve Jobs was doing did his own thing, and what happened was when they went bankrupt, Microsoft saved Apple and then gave them back their freedom. But they never
Who
was
came
together.
out first, Apple or Microsoft?
Apple came out first.
Yeah, you don't remember them
But
old Apple computers when we was in
yeah,
school?
yeah.
I mean,
Remember they had
I
the
It was
remember
Apple.
computers.
It
Macintosh.
was Apple and Macintosh, actually.
Yeah, the
I remember
Macintosh
the
computer.
computers. I don't
But
remember
my
who owned them.
but Microsoft came a little bit after. It used to be called a company called IBM that Bill Gates
Oh, that's
founded.
what it was. IBM.
And
That's what
from
it was. IBM.
IBM, he started what you know today as Microsoft.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, well, Home Depot and Lowe's, like I said, they was partners, and I know they was partners. They was partners, and they split up and started their own business. That's why
No,
if you look at
no, they were. That's another separate business because the guy who started Home
no,
Depot, Arthur Blank. I know this for a fact because my
I know
cousin
this
used to
for a
be a
fact too. I
regional.
used to work at Home
My cousin
Depot.
used to be a regional. My cousin used to be a regional manager
So was
for
I.
North
So
America.
so was
So
I
he was.
for
So he
for
did. He
College
was
Park.
from here. He was from. I'll say he did Ohio. I'll say Ohio to Maine, and his floor
No, they they
and his
were they were
territory
they were
stopped.
business
His
partners
his
when they.
territory stopped just right over Florida. But
They
I'll
they was
say this:
business partners when they started.
if you saying it like this is what I would say. If you saying it like when the Dodge brothers when they decided to leave Ford, when they left the Ford Motor Company, the Dodge brothers wanted to start their own thing. If you saying something like that, I can get with that. But I just want to make sure we're giving them good information. But go ahead.
They can't work together because people always want to take the credit from the other one. That's why they can't work together.
Good point.
It's just what it is. I mean, people are always gonna have envy. They're gonna have jealousy, and that's the reason why they can't work together. And I mean, it doesn't always be like that, but that's the reason why it happens more times than not. Is because somebody's either jealous or somebody is envy of the other one, so they end up not working together.
So let me ask you this, and salute to my brother Insane, man. Top of the
Salute to all the
treetop.
brothers on the chat. Salute to all the brothers on the panel. Salute.
Hey,
Yeah,
salute,
Steph,
salute. Real quick. Hold on. Can I say this?
go ahead.
I want to ask Free real quick. Are you saying that in Tank situation, because I think it's a little different with Tank as far as
Mhm.
the envy and those type of things go. I think it's more the head individual as far as Floyd went at that time. He was the one who was somewhat in envy of Tank.
No, it
Um,
wasn't. It wasn't to Tank or Floyd. He asked the question of why people can't work together. Why it always seems like brothers can't work
well,
together.
I was trying to compare it back to the topic.
No, I mean,
I was just trying to compare it back to the topic.
I think Tank and Floyd, it was something a little deeper than that. I don't. I think for one, I think Tank Davis wanted to be his own man and didn't want to live behind the shadows of Floyd. But I also think it was something a little bit deeper behind the scenes going on between Tank and Floyd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can feel that. Definitely right about that. But go ahead, Dub.
I was gonna say, I think that at some point in time, hey, any person can supersede because at that current moment in time when Tank and Floyd was, we watched Floyd more or less take over Tank career, and as fans we criticized it, right? We was like, man, you ain't fighting nobody. You ain't doing what we asking you to do. You know what I'm saying? We think you may be the goods, but we need to see you in the ring. And you're letting Floyd talk for you every time we turn around. We don't even know what you believe. And so it became a point where we were like, and I think Tank kind of got to the point where he kind of felt the same way where, I need to take over my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? I need to do my own thing. My problem is ain't nothing changed. Even when he moved from Floyd, ain't nothing changed.
Yeah,
And
no,
so,
something changed. Something changed dramatically. Something changed dramatically.
Go ahead.
The thing that changed with Tank Davis dramatically when he took over his own career is he started making a whole lot more money than he was making when he was with Floyd. He's making a lot more money since he's been on his own than he was making when he was under Floyd. So that was the thing. Yeah, you might have wanted to see the sport, him fighting other people. Tank Davis looking at the money revenue. I got a lot more money now that I'm on my own. I was getting a mil, 2 mil, maybe $3 million a fight. Now I'm getting 10, 15, sometimes even 20 or $30 million a fight. He's making a lot more money.
I feel
Let me
it.
say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Dub. No, go ahead. If you want to answer, go ahead, Dub.
I just want to finish what I'm saying. When I say nothing changed, I understand where you're going with it as far as the money aspect of it. But at the end of the day, Tank would have never had the opportunity to make that type of money if he went under Floyd. That's my personal opinion. You could disagree with that, but that's my personal opinion. All I'm saying is that when we watch Tank look to become his own, right? The thing that we were looking at, the thing that we was looking for is, the money was always there for Tank. Now, maybe Floyd was taking a bigger piece than what we actually know of. I don't know the whole dynamics of their relationship as far as the money system goes, as far as Free is speaking to. But one thing that we always heard is, man, the reason Tank ain't fighting these guys is because Floyd don't want him to fight these guys. This is what we heard. I think all boxing fans, I don't think nobody can disagree with that. And so when Tank did start to take over his career, and he still ended up fighting the Hector Garcias of the world, respectfully, it still wasn't. Nothing really changed. The nigga still fighting subpar fighters,
right?
And maybe he making more money. Maybe you're right about that, Free. Like I said, I'm not in touch with that piece of it. I ain't behind the scenes, but I know what my eyes look at. And the nigga wasn't fighting no damn body. Shout out to Angie Baby in the building, man. Shout out to Dank Father. Shout out to Vacay Bay in the building. Man, much love.
Squad is back.
But let me say this. I'm gonna bring Prize and Insane on this. But let me ask you this, Insane. And the reason I brought up this topic in general, it goes to a broader point. And I'm trying to kind of get an idea of why you think blacks have such a hard time with either passing the torch, you could say that with Floyd, or there's a hard time of accepting leadership from someone. Why you think that is, Insane?
Can you hear me?
You crispy, my brother.
Okay, cool. I had just got a call. So the thing is, I think with Tank Davis, I think their
did you hear the question I asked you?
I heard enough of it.
Oh, okay.
So pretty much the thing is, this is what I believe is Tank Davis. I think their whole agenda was just to make as much money as possible by looking over, you know what I'm saying, Tank's flaws in the ring by his size and things like that. And I don't believe he was looking for legacy because he come from a impoverished area, right? And like Floyd would say, you can't eat trophies or you can't eat titles or you can't eat legacies, but you can feed your kids with checks. So the thing is, coming behind Floyd Mayweather, he built them up behind the same plans that he was under. Well, not the same ones because he actually fought somebody, but the same spotlight because Floyd was giving him that cachet that he had as one being the best. But to me, it was just a whole money thing, and I'm not mad at his career. If he was to stop boxing today, he did what he was supposed to do in the eyes of him, himself, and his family. Like I said, you can take the legacy, and you can't take that to the bank with you, but you can take those checks to the bank with you. So when he left Floyd and them, I believe he started cashing bigger checks, and that's all that matter at the end of the day is how much am I making and how much am I taking home, and these guys ain't taking out my pocket no more. So the model was complete with the blue. How Floyd said, the green trail.
The
Floyd would
green
say
print, the green
the
print.
green print. So now it's the blueprint. So I think he's good with the blueprint, and I think, like I said, if he was to retire today, he made enough money, and I can't be mad at his career.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with that. Go ahead, Prime. What you got on that, man? On that same question.
Yeah, I don't really care about that kid like that no more. I'm tired of talking about him. I mean, good for him and his money. He ain't the only nigga with money. Um, I mean, that's it. I don't care to talk about him ever again until he competes for real. Till
That's
then,
a, that's a
handle
fact.
Yeah.
That's a
handle
fact.
your yeah, handle your business with your baby moms and all them biddies and all that. Just go do that, then come back and then we can talk about you. Until then, I don't give a F about no Javante Tank Davis. I don't care about his money because I got money. So what? Who cares if he got more money than me? I can still get some of the same stuff, so it doesn't matter. He ain't the only person with money. Bud Crawford got money. So what?
Can I ask a
Like,
question? Let me ask a question real quick. How we end up talking about Tank tonight?
well, BBO loves
Um,
Tank.
no, but this was about, man. Well, I'll kind of get into it with what I thought. So I read this book, and it basically was talking about how we build wealth in America. And one of the things I noticed is it basically was talking about how the Italians they use the fire station to kind of help build that wealth. Then you looked at they had the Irish that came to this country. They used the police force to kind of make that same kind of money to make the money. And then you seen a lot of Jewish people get into what you call civil service work. And I was thinking to myself, the overwhelming thing, because really, it's not even about boxing. I'll probably change the title, man. It's just about I don't understand how every community can work together but ours. I mean, there's been a discerned effort by the Jewish community to make sure if you say anything offensive about them, in their opinion, that they're going to do what they can to ruin you. And I'm saying you can say whatever you want about somebody black and nothing ever happens. I've actually seen a white young lady did a whole interview where she was in blackface and like making fun of black women.
BBO,
And for me,
BBO, you know the craziest thing?
what's that?
You say this on a regular basis, right?
Right.
Why does everything have to be about race? And then you make a show and you make it about race.
Because
I think this is a
because the thing
beautiful
that all
show.
the thing. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I think it's a beautiful show, and I think it's a beautiful topic, and I think it's something that we all need to cook upon because a lot of people don't get this message across, and a lot of people are scared to touch on these messages. But it's actually what's going on in our community because the biggest threat to the black community is the black community itself. The thing is, we don't have any more leaders no more, and people are taking these paychecks and standing in front of us and standing. How can I say it? Standing for us and speaking for us, but they're not for us. So you have black
Mhm.
people with white consciences. So they're thinking
Mhm.
like white people. You know what I'm
But
saying? They have a European mind with black
You
skin.
know what? This is how I feel
But
about
let
things. For real, for real.
but
Real
let me do.
quick.
Let,
Real
Go ahead.
quick. I'm 2 seconds. I'm brief. This is what I always say about my people.
Oh
If
yeah, I
you
got.
if you look in the Bible and somewhere in the Bible it says the tail will become the head and the head will become the tail. And
no,
that's
it
all I'm
doesn't
gonna
say
say.
that. No, it doesn't say that. It says first will
Something like
become last.
it says something
It
like
says
that.
first. It says first will become last, and last will become first.
Whatever. The head will become the tail will become I just
Hey,
didn't
hey, hey! Come on, man. We know you Muslim, man, but come on, show some love to
I'm
others.
definitely not Muslim,
Don't
but
say whatever.
it's
Don't
not
say whatever, bro.
Muslim.
Don't say
They
what.
don't like Muslim. It's called Muslim. So be correct. They don't
Muslim,
like
my
that.
bad.
They
Okay,
don't like
well,
that.
we know you. We know you Muslim.
No, I'm
So I'm
not.
just saying, with us, I'm just saying, have some respect for the Bible, bro.
You know they have a president right now, and they have a president in Africa right now, and there's four major presidents in Africa and 4 major countries in Africa getting together now because we know Africa is a continent. But they got four powers coming together now, and they're banding with Russia now, and they're not letting French take their gold no more, and they're actually building for their country. They're building their country up, and they're standing up to Western powers. So if this is the start of the Black Revolution, whether it started at home, whether it started here or in Africa, it needed to start. And with those leaders that they have in Africa now, those 4 major leaders coming together, and maybe in the future you bring Congo, Niger, and the rest of them together, I think that we as a people can move forward because that's where we originate from. And
But
once we have that country behind us, I think we'll be stronger than
We
ever.
will
but
become.
hold
We
on, hold
will
on. But
become
but
the.
but
We will
but but
become the
Let me do this.
head.
Let me do this
hold on,
because
hold
we
on.
get away
Let
from
me.
what I. No, hold
I
on,
want to
Dub.
respond.
Hold on, Dub.
No,
Let me
no,
say this. Let me say
respond to
this.
that. Let me
You
respond to that.
you got a chance. Hold on, hold on. This is the thing. This is the thing that's the most important. What I'm saying is across the board. I think I see a lot of us don't understand the concept of what I'm speaking of. In America, and this is a true stat. These stats are all coming from the Wall Street Journal. We still have a 50% unemployment rate in black men from 25 to 38. We got that's a 50%. That's half. So one in two black men don't have a job. Then on top of that, we're seeing some of the lowest literacy rates in the last 30 years. We haven't seen literacy rates this low since 1988. So it's getting worse. Black children are not graduating high school. Black children are not able to speak and write correctly. And I'm telling you, it's not even about Floyd. It's just we just bought that because we talk a lot of boxing and sports. I just brought that up because at the end of the day, I think the overall problem is, as with Insane said, which I think has some truth to it and it has some BS to it, because I think no matter what it is, we don't have enough people understanding that we have to work together, and working together works.
But you have
And
to
you say,
understand. Go
and
ahead.
you say, why does working together work? Because we see in every other community. You want to tell me out of all the wealth in America, blacks only own 0.5%? Not even a full percent of the wealth in America. We only own 0.5% of the wealth in America. That's a huge gap. But everybody wants to say we got billionaires and millionaires, but the lowest of the lowest are suffering, man. When I go to East Cleveland, I mean, it looks bad, dude.
But
Dudes is bad out
but
there.
but this is the thing, BVO, going to an insane point. And I understand what he's talking about, the leaders over in Africa. My thing is Muammar Gaddafi, he tried to start trading on the gold system before any of these guys did. And what did they do? They took that brother out. They said this man was a war criminal when he was never a war criminal, right? And this is the United States that did this. And so what I'm speaking on is whatever they're doing over in Africa, it's not going to come affect us first. It's not going to affect the black man in America. It's not going to affect us like that. The reason it's not is because we're still under this. So we have to understand that what they're doing there is something totally different than what we're going to have to do here. It's something totally different. We can't say that just because they're starting to trade in gold. And the reason they're working with Russia is because when Muammar Gaddafi tried to do this, the United States killed the man, or they unalived the man. They unalived him and claimed that he was a war criminal when if you go listen to any documentation or anything like that, go listen to Muammar Gaddafi and how people report on him. He said that he was gonna make sure that all his people had housing in Libya. They were gonna have housing before he would house his parents. Right, his parents would stay with him. Now he had to. I mean, if you stay, I was gonna say if you staying in the palace, it's easy to say that. But even to say that, you're saying, well, I'm gonna make sure everybody is housed in this country before I buy a house for my parents.
His son is coming into power.
Say it again.
His son is coming into power.
But his son should have never had to come into power. They killed this man
because of Barack Obama. I understand.
We gotta be careful. We gotta be careful when we say K word.
They unalived this man.
So this what I want to say. This is what I want to say. And this is very important for playback value and for people watching. We want to make sure if we can't control how we say things, the passion is great, but we want to make sure we're saying things and being respectful of what YouTube has for us, because there's too much on the line. I'm just being real. There's too much on the line for something to happen with YouTube. So Let's just make sure when we saying stuff, we doing our best. Because let's pretend we on ESPN because we can't be ESPN until we treat it like it. That's how I look at it.
So
You
I'm
100%.
gonna use
Can I say
better
this real
verbiage.
fast?
Go
Can I
ahead,
say this real quick?
Go ahead.
See, the thing is with what you said was, and what I disagree with is, you say it won't affect us here in America, what they do out there in Africa, but yet it will, because some people need to see it to achieve it. If I see you doing it and I see the change in you, then that will change the minds of others. All you need to see is someone doing it, not sitting up there marching and protesting and talking about doing it, but actually physically doing it. And what they're doing is doing it. I don't want to see black people in the street no more and preaching like that. We need to make things happen. They are actually offering in Kemet and these other places in Africa free visas for us to become citizens of Africa to come home.
Not in Kemet. Definitely not in Kemet. But
I said
they
Kenya.
are
Not in Kemet
I said
at all.
Kenya.
Oh, you said I thought
Kenya.
you said Kemet. My bad.
I said
thought you
Kenya.
Kemet. So
I didn't say Kemet, I said Kenya.
Kenya and Ghana. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I agree with that piece. I agree. But my
So-
thing is this.
Then they say they
Even-
giving out $100
but-
grand too.
Hold on. But the problem is the majority of individuals in our community over here, like, we know these things because I would say that the majority, I ain't gonna say the majority, everybody on this panel right now are educated individuals, and we done kind of looked into a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? So we can have this conversation, but everybody ain't listening to us. And so the majority, if I tell this to 90% of my family members, they have no clue of what's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? So I have to bring the message to them in a different way. I have to bring it to them in a way that they're going to understand, because they're not paying attention to this research. And that's 90% of our people over here. So what's going on there doesn't directly affect us, because if 10% of us understand this, but the other 90, they doing their own thing, you know what I'm saying? They ain't worried about none of this. Matter of fact, sometimes you try to talk to them, they think you're crazy. And I done been in their boat. You know what I'm
Dub,
saying?
it's kind of like this. Like, this was my whole thing when I got on YouTube. I said, if I can just get one person to view what I'm saying, then I'm winning. The thing is, all we need is one person to see it. We don't need everybody to see it. It only takes one person to get the ball rolling. As long as the ball rolling, no matter how long it took. Even, I believe, Japan, they had 100-year plan. I was China, I'm sorry. They had 100-year plan, and now that plan is succeeding itself by billions, because they built their people up. They care for their people. Now, I'm American through and through, 100%. But I feel like in America, we need to take a look at what's going on in Africa and say, well, hey, look what they're doing, and we can get together and build the same wealth here. It does not matter. We need one person to get up and show us how to do it, and then we follow the leader.
But you
Hold
got
on, let me do this. Let me hop in on this. I want to make sure the conversation is going in the right way. Now, when you say do things, what I think, and this is my personal opinion, I think we got to stop asking the government to do things for us. And the reason I say that is, when I look, and this is something that, you know, I tell Prize all the time, and Prize tell me if I'm lying. I always say, I wish I could talk to a giant like his grandfather. These guys who came before us had real unimaginable bigotry at them, and they were able to do great things. And we got it sweet, and we hardly doing anything. The best thing I can do is take $400 or $500 and give away some turkeys. That's nothing. What I'm trying to figure out is how to build a community of people around me so that we can do things big. It's a young brother in North Carolina. Shout out to North Carolina. He's actually building a school. Him and a couple of his friends. One's a plumber, one's a contractor, one lays carpet, one does HVAC. And these guys are actually building a school. And these ain't millionaire dudes. These are dudes building a school because they're not satisfied with the school system that they have in their local community. And what I'm saying is, it goes back to a book I read called Community of Chaos, Where Do We Go From Here? And one of the things, if you listen to what Martin was saying in that book, he wasn't talking about being separate. He wasn't talking about doing nothing. He's basically saying that we got to be aware of where we really are. And what happens so much as a black person, you got everybody lying to us. You good. You doing all right. Like, one of the biggest things with me. Now, I'm a 6'5" brother. Look really good when you see me. But I gotta get in better shape. Did I ever hear that from anybody outside? No. I only heard that from myself saying, you know what, I want to get in better shape so I can live longer and do more. That's what I mean when I say that. Our counterparts have that accountability between each other. I see it all the time. Dub sees it. Anybody in corporate America see that there is real accountability. That's why people win. What I'm saying, it's not a black thing. It's a people thing. We got to understand that if we want to do great things in life, we got to work together and actually build a community. The community that Dub talks about with Big Ma, or me talking about with Granny G, or Chico with Prize, it doesn't exist. Y'all realize that? Y'all realize that we're not even competing with our grandfather? We can't compete with them. They will eat us alive, dog. They will eat us alive. They had real stuff going on and was able to do it. Do you guys know at one time Philadelphia was a segregated city? You realize that? Philadelphia was a segregated city. Cleveland was a segregated city. DC was a segregated city. And somehow people was able to find a way to win. And what we get now is we get stupid conversations and things with no real importance. That's why I came up today. Maybe I shouldn't use Tank as that. I'm going to change it. But these are the conversations that must happen on where are we actually going? What is the real mark? What are we actually looking to do? Because all I hear is a lot of niggas saying things but not doing nothing. Not putting no real effort into it. All dudes want to show you what they're doing. But not how they helping the next man. Shout out to my wife. She wants to do some stuff. She works with the Financial Empowerment Center. You're trying to teach people how to use their money. Because one thing about black people, they know how to get that cheese, but they don't know how to spend it. Just like BBO. Why does BBO have 30 pairs of shoes? For what? Because BBO was poor and felt like, hey, I deserve it. Why is BBO buying shoes all the time now? Because BBO is being wasteful. But see, we don't have those conversations with ourselves. You see what I'm saying?
Prize box shoes because I work and I wanna enjoy my stuff. Bump all that.
And I get what you're saying, but that's why a lot of people don't be able to do the things they could do because they don't feel like there's something bigger than themselves that they're working towards. Just like when Insane spoke about, China had a 120-year plan. They're probably on year 80 of it. But because the collective said we're better together than we are apart, that they actually are building into what they always wanted to do. So that's all I'm saying. I'm saying we don't ever have these conversations about how we can grow together. We always talk about with this person, oh, I got Gucci, oh, I got Louis. But what are you actually doing to improve the community that you say you love? What are you actually doing? Are you just driving by, buying one nigga a sandwich and a beer? No. Or are you actually trying to find something to do?
So what you do is, and I'll speak directly from my situation, you affect the youth. You know what I'm saying? Hence the reason you coach, you know what I'm saying? You find a way to be in the youth life because a lot of guys my age, you know what I'm saying, man, they set in their ways. They gonna do it, they gonna do what they're gonna do. But if I can bring that same mindset to the next generation, then I can start to affect change. It may not be immediately, but like Insane said, if we look at this as a long-term project, then who do we have to affect? We have to affect the youth. And so being in their lives, showing up for them, you know what I'm saying, being a part of whatever situation they got going on, regardless of how it looked, us being there as black men speaking to the young black ones, you know what I'm saying, the young black kids, that's that 100-year plan that China was talking about. They didn't start that, last point, they didn't start that plan speaking to the 40 and 50-year-olds. They started speaking to the 5, 6, 7-year-olds. That's what that 100-year plan. And if I can get that 5, 6, 7-year-old to get to the age 20, 21, have financial literacy, and then be able to pass that back down, that's when we start to affect change. You know what I mean?
If I can interject here, then this is where
let Free go before you go. Let Free go before you go. Let Free go.
I might forget.
Hold on. Let Free go before you go.
All right.
You gotta hold on to it. Go ahead, Free. Puerto Rican Free, you there?
Hey, Insane. Yeah, no, always write it down. Write it down. I got a notepad right here, so I write so if I end up getting cut off, I can write it down and I'll still be able to come back to it. Respect.
Yeah. What I was going to say is what Dub is saying is correct, because like right now we're so brainwashed to think a certain way because they created this environment of diversion. So the only way that you can change that, you gotta talk to the youth. and have their train of thought differently. Because right now, the people that grew up in our generation, we got brainwashed to think a certain way, and some people have the ability to have their own thoughts, but some people don't have that ability. They are easily influenced. So the way you change that is you go to the youth and you change the way of them thinking. You don't make you open their minds to a whole different outlook. Because right now, if we keep it the way it is, it's just going to be more of what's going on right now. So yeah, the only way you can make the change is by talking to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. That's how you change the process. Because right now, everybody is brought up under the train of thought that our parents had, under the train of thought that their parents had. So
Mm-hmm.
we all got brainwashed to be conditioned the way we are now.
Go ahead, Insane.
It's okay, and that's a great fact that you said too. But the thing is this, and this is where it starts now. But with black people, right? We have to stop being selfish, bro, and we have to start putting this plan. We have to start putting this plan in motion, right? And to understand in the back of my mind, I'm not gonna be here to see this plan play out. So I have to stop being selfish with myself and everybody else and say, you know what? I need to sacrifice and put this plan forward and understand that knowing that I'm not gonna be here when this all plays out, just knowing it's gonna work out for the best. A lot of us are selfish. You get what I'm saying? A lot of black people are selfish and for self. Once we get that hatred out our heart, and once we start loving each other, then we can put the plan in motion. The thing is to stop disliking each other, sabotaging each other and things like that. But once we can get past that, then the plan can fall in motion once you understand that it's not about you. It's about your future, bro. And get out your own way because the plan has to start now. If you want it to happen within 100 years, you have to start now. And you have to understand you got to give your all to it, knowing you're not gonna see it at the end, but knowing that it's gonna all play out. This is what the Bill Gates and things like that. He took his great grandfather's plans, which took his father's plans, which took his father's plan, knowing that it went down the line of their family tree, and yet they succeeded at the end of what they wanted to accomplish, and that's what we need to do as a people. If I explained that the right way, sorry.
And I'll say this. I'll say this. I think you guys are making some great points. The main thing I'll say is this. When I look at people, I think people understand plans start with understanding who you are in life. And I don't know, I hate to be biblical for some people, but some of us are David. And I think a lot of us think we're Solomon. And we're not. We're not. You're not going to be the one to build the temple. You're not going to be the one to get the adoration. You might be the one who put the stick in the mud. You might be the one who did the shoveling. My aunt Talitha, God rest her soul, she came in from Arkansas with nothing, man. The woman didn't even know how to drive. She worked hard in kitchens all around Cleveland, worked at one of the biggest restaurants in Cleveland, and became the right-hand man to the owner. And guess what? Helped raise the owner's son that took over the business and position she had, and never said a word about it. I think the thing is, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm gonna ask a question after I say this, but how can we understand, and what Insane said is true, how can we understand that we have more work to do than just what we see in front of us? So I ask you guys this. Do you guys see in the next 5 years that we can have some improvement, or do you guys think we're going to be worse off in 5 years?
Well, wait a minute.
What you guys say?
Well, hold on. I want to, you utilize an analogy, and you said some of us are Solomon, some of us are David, right?
Correct.
Well, what you have to understand, David, correct me if I'm wrong, David was a son of Solomon. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, excuse me.
No,
Solomon was
wrong.
a son of David. Solomon was a son
Correct.
of David. Excuse me. I said it backwards.
Yep.
David was looked at as a warrior king. You know what I'm saying? Solomon was looked at as more of the knowledgeable individual, but they both had flaws, right? And so the reason I want to break that point down is because it doesn't matter exactly what your lane is. Who knows what you've dealt with in the past? That's not what it's about. What you done already did, man, you can only live today. I can't live for yesterday. I got to live for today and the future. And so regardless of what it is, and I think it goes directly to what you're saying, how people look at it differently. Some individuals gonna look, man, hey man, I'm going out this, man, I'm boring out here. Others, man, I'm the knowledgeable. Well, it's a place for both people. It's a place for both. It goes into as long as you're trying to help and impart knowledge, that's where the beauty in all of it comes. Answering your question, 5 years from now, I don't think anything's going to change. I think things will be worse 5 years from now, me personally. The reason I think things will be worse is because the music and the influences that are currently out here. But I can't worry about 5 years. I have to worry about 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 years from now. I can't. 5 years is a very small time frame. Y'all, 5 years ago, y'all didn't expect it. 5 years went like this. It went like that for us. You know what I'm saying? So now imparting on the youth, and everybody brings something different. I ain't got to bring the same thing that Insane talk about, the same thing Free talk about, the same thing Prize talk about, the same thing BVO talk about. I don't have to talk about any of that. I can bring something different, but y'all have it just as valuable of a place as I do, because y'all have a different perspective. But us imparting that knowledge and showing, okay, this is where things are moving. One of the things I tell my son, I always tell this dude, I'm like, bro, I know, hey, the last thing you can listen to is drill music. Oh, hey, you can't listen to none of that. And the reason you can't is because that's going to mess your mind up. It messes your mind up. And they didn't find ways to attack us as people. So now we have to figure out what that attack is and how to get the youth away from that, so they can go, they can come back and be a strong civilization moving forward in the next 20 years, in the next 30 years. They can be better than what we are today.
If I can segue into that right there, I think we're actually better than we were 5 years ago, because now we're seeing now, and this is only what I can speak of in the California network and things around surrounding California. The things are the gang violences down in California, Bloods and Crips, Power Rules, and everybody's getting along now. And we're making a conscious effort to come on these social media platforms to stop the violence and tell the youth, hey, homie, that's not the way. We are making a converted effort. California is looking a lot better. In Los Angeles, unalive bodies have went down. The numbers have went down tremendously. You know what I'm saying? Because once you destroy for one part of your life, you use the second part of your life to try to fix what you destroyed. And this is what we're doing as a black culture. See, our black women are graduating at a high rate right now. They're getting diplomas in all these different fields. We have a lot of people in the medical field. We have a lot of people in law enforcement. We have a lot of judges now. We have a lot of DAs, and we're in these public offices now. Now we need to get these ones that's already in power and that's making this type of money. They have to reach back and grab others. We have to move forward.
But Insane, this is moving forward is sometimes, and we're gonna disagree on this point. I already know we are, but you just brought up something. Even though, and I agree with you, we have black women now graduating at a higher level, a higher clip. The problem is when they graduate at that higher level, that higher clip, you know what it ends up happening? The family situation, which this is what it goes back to. Family, the family dynamic is destroyed because they're now being able to make more money than black men. Or BBO, he brought this up a few minutes ago and spoke on how 1 in 2 black men are unemployed, right? But you have a high level of graduation from black women. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I am saying is that it destroys the family dynamic. And the family dynamic is what keeps civilizations intact and in order. This is what you teach from. You teach from the family dynamic. And so you need a man to be in order and responsible and to be able to provide, so you can allow. And this is the worst thing about where we live at now is that it don't always work that way. I ain't even gonna say always work that way. Let me change how I say this. It ain't that it don't always work this way. It's that we end up in a situation where the black woman is now above the black man financially, and because black men are supposed to be providers, we would all agree on that. I think we would all agree there, right? And so now, when you have the black woman being able to be the quote unquote provider in the family because she's making more, because she's more educated than the black man is, now it starts to destroy the family. If you look at divorce rates in the black community, we have the highest divorce rates. Why do we have the highest divorce rates? It's because a lot of times black women end up being the provider of the family. And when they're the provider, then they want to make the decisions. And naturally, as far as life goes, I'm just telling the truth. People may not like how I say it, but hey, hold on, BVO, I got to say this. I try my best to tell the truth. People they may not like my style, how I talk, my delivery, but you ain't catching me in half truths and lies. The reason, the downfall of the black community is that you don't have black men getting into, and this is why I'm a big fan of tradecraft, right? There was a time I felt like I had to go to college. Man, I have cousins.
Well, let me do this. Let me do this real quick.
Can I just finish what I'm saying?
You were going for a second. I want to bring other people in the conversation. I'm not trying to cut you off. I want to just bring it to. I want to bring somebody else in the conversation, because what you're saying is good about trade schools, right? Let me ask you this, D Free. When you decided to become an officer, or even go to the military, let me ask you. When you went to the military, did you receive any pushback from doing that?
Did I see what?
Did you receive any pushback when you said, you know what, I'm gonna go to the military? Did you ever get any pushback from family about you doing that?
No, my family is. I got a long history of military folks in my family. My father, my stepfather, my uncle, cousins. I got a long history. Grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And so no, I never got any kickback about going to the military. Not even from my friends that I went to school with. None of them. They didn't know I was going to go, so they were surprised that I was leaving. But no, I never got a kickback from anybody when I said I was going to the military, or even when I came out of the military. A lot of people was proud. A lot of people was happy to see me do something different than what dudes was doing on the street. So I never had any problems or any kickback from that.
So going back, before we go back to Dub, I want to ask you this, Prize. So having a military father in the house, did you ever feel the urge like, man, I should go to the military? Was that ever on your mind?
Yeah. When I was young, I used to like Commando and Rambo and all that good stuff. So my dad was like a real life one to me, but I wanted to be in the military because he was a Marine. My dad was like, absolutely not. You know what I mean? He was like, no way, no how. You know what I mean? And I guess that was a good thing. I turned out okay. But he definitely didn't want me doing it, but it definitely crossed my mind. I wanted to be like my dad, you know what I mean? So, but I ended up being like my granddad more, you know what I mean? But it's just weird, but it's all good. You know what I mean? I got a good family. But I definitely didn't get pushed to go to the military, because if I would have, if I definitely would have been there because my dad was in there. You feel me? So he didn't push me to go. He was just like, no, I don't want you doing that. You could do something else, something better. And so I just went roll with my punches, and I got a 23-year career.
So back to trade schools. What were you saying about trade schools? Go ahead, Dub. I just want to bring those two people in on this conversation. Go ahead, Dub.
Yeah, bring Insane in on too, bro. Let Insane get his bars off.
No, I got it. Go ahead. I got this. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dub. You not talking, Dub? Or what's going on? What happened?
All right, I'll pick it up from here. The thing
with
Dub was saying, I think he was kind of wrong on the numbers about the because we're more highly married in the black community, and I commend everybody for their family things. See, my family, I kind of grew up different, right?
We're not 33% Insane. We got to be truthful. 33% of black men and women.
That's a lot more than what we were. That's a lot.
No, it wasn't. From 1940 to 1965, it was 98%.
Okay. Well, then that's a different. Okay, then I was wrong. I concede to being wrong. But okay, so my thing is, I was raised a little different from y'all in the home. My mother was a
Mm-hmm.
dealer. My mother was a high level dealer, and my father
Mm-hmm.
was a pimp. So you know what I'm saying. I kind of took after my
Yeah.
mom. You know what I'm saying, a
Mm-hmm.
little from pops or whatever. But
Right.
then I made my own decision on what I wanted to do, and that was educate myself because I knew that that lifestyle wasn't for me. And I watched my mom climb herself out of that hole and become a teacher at a college. You know what I'm saying? And I watched my mom struggle to do something different. And I watched my father, who's still in the game as of today, but I made my choice in to do something different because of where my life was headed to. So it depends on your family. It depends on your environment, but it also depends on yourself and the way you think in life of what you can do to help this community. But you got to go through some things, you know what I'm saying, to change some things. You got to see it from the other side, you know what I'm saying, to change it from the other side when you get back to the what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody tell me the word I'm looking for. When you get back to being a regular civilian in the streets, you know what I'm saying, you can go fix the side that,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, the
Rehabilitated.
opposite side
Yeah.
of the word. There you go. That word right there. I didn't want to use that word, but that's a good word. All right, that's what I wanted to say though.
Yeah. See, and that's why I was reason I didn't go to you on that is because I kind of know that already about you. But go ahead, Dub. Go finish what you were saying.
What was the question? My apologies. I don't
No,
know what happened.
you were talking about the trades and all that about why you agree with people should go to trade.
No, all I was saying is that at the end of the day, we have to we didn't push people to a certain perspective as far as, oh, you got to go to college. Nah, everybody don't have to go to college. You know what I'm saying? And really what ends up happening, you spend a lot of money going to college, people take loans out, and then they end up in debt. They're not making the money that they need to make to even pay off the loans that they done took out. So why not push them into a situation? What happened to the welders of the world? You know what I'm saying? You tell me who welding something right now. You tell me you know a welder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work with welders
Yeah,
Friday
I
as
know.
well.
I know a few, but I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
But see, this is what I did. I agree with you, Doug, with the trade thing. I didn't go to college. I ended up getting a 4-year engineering degree, which is equivalent to a bachelor's degree. Come from Washington, same deal, same kind of paper, all that, whatever. But so when I joined the construction, I learned now I can't build anything. I hired people to do
Mm-hmm.
everything for carpet, all that stuff, because I don't know how to do it. Because I push buttons, I do levers and operate heavy equipment. So I'm sitting down most of it all the time, all day. But
Mm-hmm.
what I did learn, I learned a few things. I learned how to jackhammer. I learned how to grade. I learned how I got my CDLs. Because you have to. It's part of my
Mm-hmm.
pro engineering to graduate out of my 4-year engineering degree program. So I got my CDL. I got tanker endorsements on my CDL. I'm working on my hazmat and my passenger, not because I want to, just so I can have it. You never know. 'Cause when you got your CDL, you open up, you can at least make almost $30, I guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. And if you get your hazmat and your tankers, you can haul explosives and stuff. So you can make good money doing that.
If you can, and I say this respectfully, if you're an electrician, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, there's a lot of things that electricians do.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to work with my uncle. He's an electrician. I worked with him when we was 13 years old, right? We went and helped him pull copper wire.
Mm-hmm.
People don't even understand the value of copper wire. They don't understand the value of it.
Yeah.
And so he always tell me, we went in literally the base was remodeling and all that. We pulled all the copper wire out the base housing that they were remodeling or whatever.
I do that now.
See, but the thing is, now at this time we 13, so I'm like, and my uncle, he like, man, y'all, we gonna pay y'all for y'all work, this, that. You know what the nigga paid us? $100. He paid me and my cousin $100 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
We done pull copper out of 30 houses or 30 well, they houses technically. You know what I'm saying? It's more like apartments and shit. But we done pulled out of 30, we got $100. You know how much that copper was worth?
Thousands.
See, free no. And that all I'm saying is it doesn't have to be like Yeah, hey, you want everybody to go to college and, you know, hey, be smart. But that ain't everybody lane. And a lot of times what you find out is you can make more money. True story. My cousin Corey, he grew up in the country. Like, I grew up in the country, but he grew up in the country. Like, he grew up backwood country, dirt roads. You know what Uncle Gilbert had? Uncle Gilbert had cows and he had pigs and chickens. You know how much you sell a cow for?
Yeah, thousands, man. Tens of thousands.
And he got a herd of them. We used to herd the cows for him. We had a dog out there. We had Bumper. Bumper was the dog. We had Bump out there. They called him Bumper because they used to run his ass over with the damn car. I'm like, God damn. Anyway, but he'll send me and Corey out there. We herding cows, and we herding he probably got 50, 60 cows out there. You know what I'm saying? 3 bulls, and so we herding that, and all we doing, we just trying to move it from, because you know you can't let in pastures, you can't let them just eat grass in one place. You gotta have multiple places for them to eat grass at. And so if they just stay in one place, then they be done ate all the grass. So we heard it, like we helped herd them or whatever. Chuck, my uncle, Uncle Gilbert, that's my great uncle technically. Chuck really my cousin, but he'll be out there. He Uncle Gilbert's son. He gonna be out there on the 4-wheeler, and then it's me and Corey and the and the dog. But we moving them from pastures, and I never understood how much money it was in that. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at it, if you look at one cow, you know what I'm saying, is worth, at that time it was $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who you selling it to, how, if you breaking it down, all that kind of stuff, you send it to the butcher, whatever. Pig, same thing. It's so much other stuff out here outside of technology that still has to happen for people to have a normal day life, and for them to be able to go to the grocery store, those type of things. This is the work you deal in. And but it's very. So
I'll say this. When I got into the car business, this is 2013, 2012. No, 2013, 14. I remember when I first got to the dealership, there was no brothers there. Only time you seen brothers was when they had a rag in their hand going to go wipe a car off. But the thing I learned is this, man. It's so great in life, man. Salute to my brother Ernest. It's so great in life when you can ingratiate yourself with people and become someone. And see the difference between BBO. My story won't be your story. I'm a big, tall, handsome man with a great personality. So I'm going to get in some places because I'm a big, tall guy. Some people can't get that. So my whole thing is this: you got to find what your lane is. And if you don't, you won't have the life you should have. Because, I mean, Prize, this is not me talking trash. You can tell when I'm around that I carry myself a certain way, so I could present a certain a way to people. Am I wrong, Prize? Yes or no?
No, 100%.
And that's not something that I got naturally. That's something I worked on, reading about Magic Johnson. Understanding what does Magic really do? You know what Magic said he does?
He's a philanthropist.
No. You know what Magic said? He said people like me. People want me around. And don't get me wrong, having the great Dr. Buss helped him, having somebody that he that loved him, that was young and showed him the game. But this is what I'm saying. Shout out to Magic for understanding, hey, I might know how to do everything, but guess what? I can be liked.
But you're missing the point.
Can I say one thing?
You're missing the point. You ain't let me finish, Dub.
Can Insane say one thing?
After I get done, listen, Dub. If I can listen to you, you gotta listen to me, brother. Don't listen to response. Coming from you, that means nothing. But let me say,
hey, it means a lot. It means because anything I'm talking about,
I just want to say one thing, you guys.
If that's how you hold on, wait. If that's how you feel, good for you. But I'm not gonna go on no Bush League stuff with you. All I say is this: the most important thing is finding your niche and making sure that you can get into it. Prime example: I went from selling cars to being a sales manager. Then from there, I was a desk manager. Then from being a desk manager, I was in finance. Now I'm in the big leagues. I'm working as a semi-sales manager. But we selling semis that sell for 185,000, 200. What is it? A 6-axle dump truck we sold for 300,000, 310,000.
Would you tell your daughter to do the same thing that you did?
Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. The cool thing about it was when I got into it, it let me know I didn't need as much education as I ended up getting, from working, because it was just about the people business. And you're gonna learn along the way if you're smart. And for instance, when we were talking about, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the tariffs. So in my industry, tariffs are a big deal because I think it was November 1st, the tariffs went into action. So when we build something that's not stateside, a lot of trucks are built in Mexico, a lot of trucks are built in Canada. So if you're not stateside, there's going to be a 25% tariff on your truck. And the reason that tariff is so important is because it raises the base price of the truck, right? And what happens when you get used to paying for a certain price? The manufacturer's never going to bring that back down. Never. So it's going to always have that tariff price in it. Everything is always going to be what I would call, and they get mad at me for saying this at work, it's always going to have that extra gouge to it because they're never going to lower prices. They're always going to try to get more out of it. And the reason I say this so cool is because when I went to Detroit, shout out to the Freightliner store. We went to the Freightliner store. They built, I don't know if you guys familiar with Cummins and Detroit Power. Both of these engines are built right here in America in Detroit. And we seen the factory where they were built, and you can order a truck and we can do the specs on the truck. And you can actually see your truck come down the line. And the cool reason I said all to say this, when I went into that meeting I just went to, there were no black faces. There were none. Only black face you seen was during security or the person that bought us our lunch. What I'm saying is this: relationships are king. More people got to understand that, hey, if I got good relationships, this is for guys from me like the ghetto who ain't the smartest guys in the world. If you can build a good relationship with people, treat people right, it can take you to the moon. It can take you to the moon. How did Ray Cocker, who is known for what he did with McDonald's, become into power? He befriended the McDonald's brothers, called them on the payphone, went to see what they did, convinced them to let him run their franchise business, and at some point he cut them out. But what did he do? He was liked. He was somebody they wanted to work with. What did Sam Walton say? I got customer service is number one on my mind. Now look at what's going on with Sam Walton and his family. But I'm gonna ask you this, Prize, and I'm gonna go to Insane on this. When y'all see what you guys are doing in life, especially shout out to Insane, man, rehabilitating himself, and shout out to my man Prize being already rich and not messing it up. Let me ask you this: when you see what you got going on in the next 30, 40 years, right? Do you feel like your children will be able to benefit from the work you're putting in today? And that's what both you got.
Absolutely. And that's why I buy so many sneakers. They're going to be all right. You know what I mean? I believe they're going to be left. You got me tweaking. They're going to be left houses, cars, pickup trucks, assets.
Go ahead, Insane. Because Insane, hey, one thing about Insane, he crazy as a mofo, but the brother's a beautiful brother. Go ahead, Insane. What would be your answer?
Hold on. Let me clear Mom's name up real fast. Pops didn't become a P until after my mom broke his heart. They worked in the same business selling cake mix together. When Pops and Mom split up, that's when Pops did what he did. So Mom was never working for Pops or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me just clear Mom's name up. And for the question that you said, I think my kids would definitely benefit off of things that I do now. I own 2 homes as of right now. I own a home in Las Vegas and a home in Nevada, and I'm working on my third home as you talked about before, BVO.
Right.
I married a great woman who decided to take the business that I was in, flip the money, and we're buying houses now. She's a professor at a Las Vegas college, and she runs a hospital in the daytime. So, and we're putting together business and steady buying properties as well. So I think my hard work when I was in the streets is paying off, because it's paying off even now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm reaping the benefits of it, and my children will reap the benefits of it. And we believe in what you call insurance, which a lot of people don't have, after life insurance. So if you're out here and you in the streets, you in the business world, whatever, get as many insurance policies on yourself as you can, because one thing is for sure and 2 things for certain. You're gonna go. But when you do leave, make sure to have them policies put up to where your family benefits off of your life. You get what I'm saying? Get a trust, get everything tied in, and let your trust pay everything else out and stack up on as many properties as you can. That's all I got on that.
What would you say, Brother Free? And then we're gonna go to Dub.
What's the question again?
Do you think the hard work that you put in, do you think your children in the next 10, 20 years will be able to benefit from the work that you put in?
Oh, most definitely. My kids will benefit. My kids benefit from my hard work now, um, based off of the things that I showed them throughout life. I showed my sons how to be a man, how to handle their business. I showed my daughters how to carry themselves as a young lady. But all of the work that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of my legacy is going to make sure that my kids are straight. The things that I leave behind, like the company that I'm a vice president of right now. My
Mm-hmm.
insurance policy with the company that I with that I helped built to where we are now. I started with this company when it was only 2 months old. They only had
Salute,
seven
Jeff.
employees. They
Go
only
ahead.
had 7 employees at the time. I helped
Mm-hmm.
build the company to where it is now. I have partner share in this company. So as this
Mm-hmm.
company grows, my pocket grows. So everybody that makes money for the company, not only are you making money for yourself, but you're making money for me. So my kids, they're going to definitely benefit from my hard work. Not only for me, but me and my wife, we combined have life insurance where each one of my kids will be left where, I mean, probably by the time that I pass, it's not going to be a quote unquote a whole lot of money then, but as it is right now, each one of my kids will be left with at least 7 figures. I'm sorry, 6 figures. I said seven. 6 figures. Each one of my kids will be left with 6 figures with the policy that we have now. Me and my wife pay roughly about $2,000 a month for the policy that we have right now.
Hey, so
Them policies
hey,
important.
I'll say this though. Yeah, especially something like whole life insurance, things of that nature. I don't think people realize that's a big deal. But I'll say this, man. I'll say this. This is important. What do you guys think as far as when we talk about growing and community? Do you think that jealousy sometimes hurt people a lot? So to my brother John becoming a member, because I feel like sometimes whenever we dealing with each other, whether it's any man, any woman, do you think jealousy hurts us? Because I see a lot of people be jealous of one another instead of working together. You think that's a problem?
Most definitely, that's a problem because jealousy is nothing but a distraction. Because you can be blinded by the jealousy. You know how people say you're blinded by love? You can also be blinded by jealousy because your hatred is you have so much hatred in your heart that you're jealous of an individual to where you don't see the good that you can benefit from learning from that individual or being friends with that individual or asking for advice from that individual because of the jealousy that you have in your heart. So yeah, it's definitely bad. I mean, I'm not jealous of anybody. If anything, I'm gonna ask how was you able to do it before I sat here and hate and be jealous of somebody doing great. I got friends right now that I went to school with that's
Mm-hmm.
that's literally multi-millionaires. And I wish
Right.
I would have sat back and talked to them a little bit more and picked their brains on things that I did. But I looked at them as individuals that I was cool with, I was friends with, but they was
Mm-hmm.
more on that straight and narrow side. I was more so cool with the individuals that hung out in the street for the most part. But like I
What
said,
would you
now
say?
they're
Go ahead.
multi-millionaires.
What would you say, Insane, on that same subject?
Okay, on that same subject, let me end the window this way. Mom's
Mm-hmm.
told me like this before when I was knee deep in the street. She said, "Son, check this out."
Mm-hmm.
She said, "We won't know who gon' we won't know who unalived you because you beefing with so many people. Get with that person and see what y'all got in common and see what type of friendships y'all build." I've been good ever since I took her advice, right? So the thing was, dudes was jealous of me. I had jealousy
Mm-hmm.
in my heart for those dudes, whether it be one thing or another, not of what they had, but maybe whether it was social standard, social You know what I'm saying? How they was looked at in the streets, if they had a bigger rep than me, wherever it was. I learned how to put that to the side. You know what I'm saying? And be a man and come with that person and build relationships and build bridges and build bonds. And those are the same thing that saved my life on so many occasions. So if you out there and you funking with folks, get it together, because what you beefing about ain't really had nothing to do with you. It happened 20 years or way before you was born. Fix any bond that you have, and I guarantee it'll help you out in the long run. That's what I got on that, if that made any sense.
That was perfect. That was perfect. That brother been at home reading. Shout out to Insane. I like Insane. Y'all see when he came? He was just being the crazy Ricky, going crazy. Now he in here dropping knowledge. Shout out to my brother Insane. We love this kid, man. But let me read this comment real quick. My man said, let's stand about it. Hold on, let's talk about it. 414. He said, I don't think it's jealousy per se. I think it's some competition when it becomes jealousy. And then he said, when people are in competition, they size you up. But if you take knowledge of that person, we can all get along. And I'll say this, I don't understand where the competition comes from, because there's enough room for us to do it. And so you gotta forgive BBO. BBO grew up watching Master P, who is my favorite. And prior to tell you, Master P is my favorite. And Master P used to say all the time, think about it. You can have Burger King, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, all on the same block. You can have them all on the same block. There is no competition. That's a lie that we tell ourselves. We can all eat, we can all win. And really, I wait with great anticipation for us to realize that working together works. It does. You guys realize, for the money, Turkey has made all the lies that we heard about boxing go away. All sides of the street. Ain't no money in that fight. Because just like anything else, people fall behind the money and do what they told. What you think about that? What would you say to that, Prize? What would you say?
Say it again.
I was saying, what do you think about how Master P say all the time, there is no competition. There's always room for somebody else to grow. What would you say to that?
Yeah, for sure. There's tons of stuff you can do. There's always, there's tons of stuff. Like you were saying, like, you the only brother on yours. That's how I am at my job. I'm the only one there. And I got this big iron, and so they looking at me. You know what I mean? But since there's a lot of competition,
you got this big what?
Like I'm running heavy equipment, so they look at me, and I'm not that big.
Yeah.
They like, damn, you know what I mean? That's a $300,000 machine you run. You know what I'm saying? They looking at me. So, but what I'm saying is, there's a lot of competition in that, especially with the white boys. You know what I mean? But it's all good. I like to be likable, so that competition means nothing to me. But there's always room to grow. That's why I got my CDL. That's why I got my tanker. That's why I can drive a triaxle, a dump truck. You know what I mean? I can drive. You know what I mean? I bet you, you can put me in an Amtrak train. Give me about 20 minutes. I guarantee you I'm going to get that train to run and drive. I'm serious. So you can just do tons of stuff. There's room for improvement for everything. Just because I got my CDL, there's endorsements. I can get passengers, tanker, hazmat. I can even go get my Class A and drive tractor trailer if I want to. But you know what I'm saying? There's always room to grow. There's so many lanes you can run down, bro. You got to just take it and run with it. And if you ever get a starter pack, don't fumble your pack. And a starter pack can mean anything. It doesn't necessarily mean narcotics. You know what I mean? A starter pack can mean something that you inherit or something like that. Don't fumble your bag.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Let me ask you this, Free, because one thing I always pick with Free on this. When you think about, different things you've been through and had to go through, would you say that those things help you become who you are today?
Most definitely. I mean, like I always say when I be talking to clients in the morning, life is about making choices, but life is also about learning from past experience, from yourself and from other people. So the things that I've been through in life, it definitely helped me to be the man I am today. Like when I was coming up in school, I was more so a quiet individual. I didn't really talk much. I cracked jokes with my friends, but people that I didn't know, I never really talked to them like that. I would sit there, but I would pretty much read you before I ever said anything to you. Now I'm a little more open. I say what's up to people, even though I might not know them, and I'm passing them, or they come around where I'm at, I say what's up to them. When I was coming up in my younger years, I wouldn't say nothing to you. If I didn't know who you was, I wouldn't say anything to you. I would just stand there. I wouldn't grunt on you or nothing like that, but I wouldn't say nothing
Mm-hmm.
to you. But now, because of all of the stuff that I've been through as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, up until where I'm at now, I have more knowledge and I have more experience about life, about the things that I've been through in the past, and I see some of the same things that my sons are going through that I've been through already, and I'm able to tell them, "Hey, look, you don't want to do that because this is what's going to happen. If you do it this way, you might have a different outcome." But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't learn anything from my past experience. So yeah, the stuff that I've been through definitely helped me to be the man I am today.
And speaking of that, one thing I always love to bring up, and let me ask you this, Insane. When you first said, you know what, I'm gonna change who I am as a person, what was the backlash you got from your neighborhood? Because I know people forget that aspect when you in the neighborhood. What kind? Because I know you got some. Everybody wasn't positive. Don't try to tell me they was. When you said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna change. I'm leaving this behind me." What did people first say to you about that?
You asked me that question?
Yes, sir.
Could you say that one more time for me, please?
I was saying, I know you're a positive brother. You don't like to always bring it up, but what did people say to you when you first say, you know what, I'm leaving this behind. I'm tired of. I can never compete with the red side. Let me stop what I'm doing and get back to being a civilian. How did you feel when you got that initial backlash? What did
Well,
that do for you?
let me break this all the way down. See, I'm from the city of Long Beach, so there's no red side there. It's
No,
all
no,
blue
I'm just
side
talking about
there.
in general. I know,
Okay.
but I'm just saying in general. This is
Okay.
general.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
was this. My homies didn't have a problem with me walking away because what did it for me was when I got caught and I went down for the 3 counts of high level D trafficking. Right. So me
Mm-hmm.
going down for that, you know what I'm saying, and me keeping it solid the way I did with me and my homeboy, you know what I'm saying, I got out and I'm looking and I'm like, man, I'm about to be, you know what I'm saying, 32 years old, bro. Like, this ain't getting me nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I got enough money put up, but this could have been a life sentence if my boy didn't do what he did and took it for us. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
you know, just imagine where it went if we didn't have the money to buy the lawyers, to do this and do that, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
when I got out, you know what I'm saying, and I told the P, like, look, you know what, I'm done with that situation. I'm gonna try something better, you know what I'm saying? But the door was always
Mm-hmm.
open for me, right? But me just leaving out, you know, it was nothing but praise because I got a lot of homies that's not here and doing life in
Mm-hmm.
prison. So they
Right.
thing was keep going and live life for us because we lost ours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry about that. And live life for us because we lost ours. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, everybody praises me now for being a father. Like I said, my children are in private school now. I'm a homeowner. I'm married and I'm doing my thing and I'm out of the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So they praise me.
Mm-hmm.
I made
Yeah,
it out the
and I
game clean.
and that's cool because one thing I always respect is when people say, you know what, and I tell you this, and we gonna get out of here on this after this, unless anybody got something else I'm gonna bring up. But sometimes you gotta say you got a problem. The reason BBO changed is because I looked at myself in the mirror and said, I got a problem, man. I'm messed up. I'm messed up. I gotta do something different. To my brother Ja, he said, I want to give good narratives more light and consistently like building success as far as the community. Also staying the course and not having overnight success discourage you. He said looking at multiple sources of work as the gift of life instead of a negative burden. Go ahead, Freak.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what? A lot of people say when you in that street life and you decide to get out, the 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 media and TV, they always say, oh, once you win it, you can't get out. That's not necessarily true for the most part. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe if you up in a crime that you in that up top level of the crime, maybe you
Mm-hmm.
probably can't get out. But
Mm-hmm.
for like Insane and myself and well, Prize never really been in the streets like that. But
Mm-hmm.
us as individuals,
That's super not true. But
yeah, like a lot of guys. I'm saying you never actually was a street corner guy. Is what I'm saying. You wasn't a street corner guy,
no,
but
I'm not standing on
that's what I'm saying.
nobody's corner.
Right. So what I'm saying is when you tell your boys or your homies or your best friends or the dudes that you hang around out in the streets that you're not doing it no more, it's not that nah, dog, you're a cornball, you gonna be a 9-to-5 dude. Nah, a lot of times those dudes are congratulating you and giving you confidence to get out of the streets. That's why I say the media and the news and all that, they want to make it seem like the people in the streets are holding you back. A lot of times they be forcing you to get out of the street, especially if they see the potential in you. They don't want you in the streets because they know that you're good enough to make it out. So they pushing you forward to make it out. I never had nobody that clown me about doing anything. Like I said, when I decided to do law enforcement, that wasn't my idea. That came from my brother and a couple of the dudes that I used to hang with. They were like, dog, you the only dude around here that never been locked up. Won't you do law enforcement? I was like, man, stop playing with me. They're like, no, we serious. Won't you do law enforcement? They're like, dog, you can let us know when they about to do raids and stuff. I said, dog, I'm not doing all that. You're not going to have me. He like, no, we just joking about that. But nah, you should do law enforcement. You was in the military. You one of these dudes that don't get in trouble like that. You might get off the streets and go do law enforcement. They was the one that encouraged me to do that. That wasn't something that I decided on my own.
I ain't gonna lie, BBO was super close to becoming a firefighter. I was gonna take the test, but then after I got done and passed the written test, we said if somebody burning up, you got to go back and get them. BBO said, no, this ain't for me.
And can I segue off of that real fast?
Go
ahead.
I
segue off that? See, and what he said is 100% correct, because when the older homies see you, our older homies, what we did in Long Beach, if they seen the young homies and we can hoop or we can go play football, they encouraging us to do that. They catch us in the hood, hanging out. They, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get up out of here. Y'all get up out of here. I got a lot of homies that's police officers and things like that. Like I said, the neighborhoods and the dynamics of the hood is changing. And a lot of people are happy that these dudes are getting up out of their lifestyle. Now, see, I'm still who I am from over there, but I just choose not to be over there, and I choose to be over here living my life the right way. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of my responsibilities. You know what I mean? And
That's why I got up North Carolina. That's why I got up out of there.
And anybody that can find their way up out of a situation like that, you know what I'm saying, and succeed in life without having a rat jacket on their name or anything like that, big salutes to you. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's huge. Say it again, because that's huge, man. About
to
that
not lead the game being a rat or anything like that, or have no schmut on their name, and they can just leave clean. That's actually a good thing.
And you know what else is priceless? That I can actually go back, because I ain't got none of that on my name, all that stuff you named. So I can actually go back to my neighborhood and it's love.
Right. And I seen a dude right now, he's a billionaire, and he lived the same life that we lived. He just knew how to rap. And once he got out of rap, he made the right relationships with the right people. Now this man is one of the richest men in the world. And that's Jay-Z. Jay-Z ain't did nothing with Dre too, but Jay-Z, I knew he was working them corners, and he did those type of things to get himself up out of his situation. He bettered himself. I sit back and I listen to Jay-Z. I listen to when he be talking to other philanthropists and things like that, when he talked to Warren Buffett, and when he had these conversations, and I listen to it and say, you know what, you can do the same thing too. I took my money and I invested in things that was different. I invested in homes, and I invested in my wife's education for her to become something special. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still working.
That's you.
I'm still working today. You know what I'm saying? Living off that same money, but it quadrupled. You know what I'm saying? And that was all I got on that.
Look at my brother insane. My man Sata Ja, he said, if you don't create no enemies, you didn't become rich. You have a chance to quit, and you're ahead of the perspective. And I say this, I think too many times, man, when you talking about getting in trouble and stuff, people don't understand it boils down to this. Whatever you doing and it's wrong, man, you're not gonna do well from that. I don't care who you are, man. The best thing to do, get a job, stay out the way. Because I tell you like this, you can ask Big BBO, man, staying in jail ain't cool. Shout out to Mongo Rat. Mongo Rat did, his name is Matt, but we always pick when we call him Mongo Rat, not because he ratted, but just because he just got a rap personality. Because this is a funny story. My uncle took my other uncle, God rest his soul, his paycheck, right? He was living with my uncle, right? Got his paycheck, cashed the man's paycheck, living with him rent free, and didn't let him know that he stole his paycheck. So that's why we always called him Rat. But he did time in jail, and ain't no win in that, man. And I always love when we can get up here and have these conversations, man, and talk about it, because no matter what we do, man, we want to get better. And I apologize, I kind of segued from the Tank thing. I don't even want to talk about Tank. Every Sunday, man, when we do these conversations, we're going to talk about real stuff. Tomorrow, we got Ishay Smith on, so make sure everybody tune in. We got Ishay and another special guest.
Hey, BBO, can I say one more thing, too? Just one more thing?
Go ahead.
It won't take that long. This is to everybody that's out there and anybody that's listening. Rest in peace, my nigga Mike. Mike told me like this. He say, Rab, I'll say, what's up? He said, you can't make no money beefing with everybody because you ain't going to be able to go everywhere where the money at. So kill all that beef you got with dudes. Making money and beefing, don't mix. Mm-hmm. That was it. Rest in peace, Mike. Rest in peace, money.
That'll be rest in peace. And also for the rest of the month, I'm gonna shout out my brother-in-law, man. God rest his soul. Shout out to Michael Williams. He no longer here. We miss you. I got your daughter for life, and I just want you to know that we love you, man. And rest in peace to my brother-in-law, Michael Williams, man. We'll always miss you and love you, man. And one thing I will say, take care of your health. Go to the doctor, man. Get a checkup. Get your prostate looked at. Eat a salad. Put them chips down. Smoke half a blunt. Don't smoke the whole thing. You know what I mean? What my grandma just say, little changes work. But shout out to my brother Ja becoming a member today. Shout out to Picasso, man. Picasso, become a member, man. Hang out with the black people, man. I know you against it, but hang out with the brothers, man. Shout out to my man. Let's talk about it. Hey, let's talk about it. Become a channel member, man. It's only $2.99. I can only grow as you guys provide the platform for me to grow. So let's go, man. Let's grow together, man. And like I said, forever, I love you, Michael Williams, man. And until I join you, we gonna mourn you till we join you, man. We out here, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.